welcome back. Episode 5 of Ahsoka was released, and if you saw our last week's review of episode 4, you know Edward and I were very, very patiently waiting for this episode. I gotta say, each episode of Ahsoka keeps getting better and better. The only bad thing about this episode, if you haven't seen episode 4 or any of the posters, the only bad thing about this episode is there wasn't enough of Hayden Christensen or a long enough lightsaber fight. That's the only gripe I got. Just wasn't long enough. But it was so good. It was so good. Even the lightsaber fights had a little bit of a hinting towards more of the Revenge of the Sith style of fighting. It was amazing.
I agree with Griff 100%. I think this was a phenomenal episode. I was very worried, as was he. If you could go back to our previous video, we were all very worried. I'm still very worried. I'm going to continue to be worried until the final episode because there's always a slight chance that they might screw it up. This one and the ones before this one, Dave Filoni, thank you, man. Griffin and I, when this was announced way back then, we were like, God, if we could just get Clone Wars flashback scenes. This one, we can't really talk about this episode without, going into a little bit of spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen this episode, if
Very
you haven't
minor
been,
spoilers. Not going to go into anything too
yeah, we're
deep.
not gonna, yeah, exactly. But if you haven't been keeping up with Ahsoka and with our videos, you might want to go catch up and then come back in here. What a phenomenal episode, man.
God,
What
it was so good.
God, it was amazing. I was doing daddy duty, putting kid to take a bath, prepping dinner, watching the episode as prepping dinner for my kid.
I don't know how you could focus on prepping dinner while watching this. There was no way I could do anything else while watching this. I was so glued to the screen and so invested.
I have a big TV, and I'm pretty good with cooking and not burning myself and paying.
Sure,
I
you
have a
you,
good
you do
attention.
like your cooking.
But it was such a good episode that I didn't miss a beat. I didn't have to. There were moments where I had to pause, obviously, because but I gotta say, man, truly, what a beautiful episode. What a phenomenal. If you're a Star Wars fan, if you were a fan of the prequels, are a fan of the prequels, if you're into this stuff as much as Griffin and I are, there is no way you could be like, this sucks. I think now, because I've seen some of the comments online, people are just bitching to bitch.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always going to be people who don't like Star Wars. It happens every single time. It's the same as just needing air to breathe. There's always going to be people hating Star Wars. But for those who have been following in the comments, and we've been talking a lot with you guys, Ahsoka has not missed a beat so far, continues with it, and the effects in this show, just the visual effects. I don't want to give away like the transition or like
For
with
all the people that
the lightning
complained about
effects.
de aging, I
Oh, it
think
looked
that's
good.
the way he was supposed to look in
Yeah,
that particular
it,
realm.
it kind of grew
But
on me.
yeah, but now seeing I cannot believe I'm fucking saying this, but now seeing the Clone Wars flashbacks, seeing Hayden Christensen live action, he looks phenomenal. He looks great, man.
He looks amazing in
And to
the.
see him in his little, oh, I can't. I saw Captain Rex.
I was so happy. I knew we probably weren't gonna get more, but I'm happy he at least made an appearance. He had a line, fantastic. But like the effects when Ahsoka was talking and fighting Anakin, when he's just going back and forth, was so clean. Having Duel of the Fates in the background. God, this episode was so good. We said it in the premiere, and this really does feel like old Star Wars again.
Yes, 100%. And I want to touch something on that Griff touched on really quick. This may just be my opinion. And yes, I'm very partial to Revenge of the Sith. I think that is the absolute best lightsaber duels we've gotten. This touched on that. And this to me, since Revenge of the Sith, and of course the phenomenal duel that Ahsoka had with Maul, this is up there. This was, and
Oh
we
yeah,
had just tiny bits of it, but Anakin was intense. Ahsoka was just as intense. It was that ferocity of lightsaber dueling that we haven't had in a long time, and
it
I
just needed to
loved
be
every
longer.
second.
If it was longer, it could have been up there with Revenge of the Sith. If it was just longer and we got to
Oh,
see more of it.
it would have to have been like 9 minutes of solid just fighting for it to have been that good.
I am
But
so okay with that.
I'm so happy with what we got. I think the episode was phenomenal. We, spoiler alert, did not get Thrawn, but he's coming.
He's coming.
Now I can say that he has to appear in the next episode. At least for like a cliffhanger, for like a
Yeah.
little like towards the end. If he doesn't show up in the next one, I don't know.
Yeah, I know that's something that you and I debated about in the last video with this primarily being a flashback episode. It seems like
Yeah, Griff was
there's a
solid.
good pacing for this show. They're not really going overboard with it. I am happy they dedicated this purely to Ahsoka and not tried to
Yes.
split it, and that it was a longer episode. But I do think it is time to start moving on with the current characters in the current story instead of just hitting us
100%.
with the nostalgia. Nostalgia's fantastic. I loved it. I wish it was longer. But for the sake of the story and for the show to stand on its own, I think it has to start moving forward now.
There were so many moments where I wasn't sure what I was seeing until I actually got confirmation from the characters. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a particular battle that takes place where I was like, I saw the characters that Ahsoka was taking down, but I still wasn't sure until she said it. It's such and such battle, and then I was like, it also happened to me with with the first flashback. Like I was like, is it really happening, or am I like, or are they
Are
just
we
gonna
also
hint at it? Yeah,
hallucinating?
or yeah, exactly, or are they just gonna hint at it and we're just gonna see like, no, we got like an actual. It's just, please, if you haven't seen this show, go watch all 5 episodes, catch up. It really is phenomenal. I've seen some stuff online like it's boring. They're not. They don't get to the point. Fuck you guys.
If you like
You
Star
guys
Wars,
are
you're gonna
just
like it.
you guys are
It's as
just
simple as that.
complaining to complain. The things that it's not slow. Trust me, Griff knows. I mean, if this shit was slow, I'd be saying it. I'd be like, oh, this
You
shit's slow.
hate that. That's probably your number one thing you complain about the
Yeah,
most.
things they gotta get going. Otherwise, it loses me. If the shit within 20 minutes hasn't gotten, I haven't seen something blow up. My wife always says that. I'm, you're losing me. I need to see here. Trust me, guys, give it a shot. It's great. Rosario Dawson is phenomenal as Ahsoka Tano. I can't.
And the young actress who played Ahsoka was fantastic as well. I was a little bit worried about that, but she did a good job.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. I can't believe I saw Snips and young Anakin Skywalker and
That was
his
so
little like
cool.
clone. Yeah, that was, yes. Anakin in Clone Wars calls Ahsoka Snips, but when I heard Hayden Christensen say, "Hey Snips," standing in front of her, you don't even understand. My kid's name is Leia because of Star Wars. That's how this shit is embedded into my DNA. You don't understand.
Like it kind of just connected everything because I mean, you like even though the Clone Wars is canon, it's not the same actors, and just having just that connection just to bring it full circle that just helped reinforce it was just truly amazing.
They asked him at some point, they're like, "Hey, would you have been a part of Clone Wars if they would have called you?" He was like, "Yeah, 100%." He's not one of these like uptight assholes that's like, "Oh no, Star Wars, like I did it, but like I got paid and I moved on." No, Hayden's like, if they would have called, I would have been
He
right there.
loves
That
it.
would have been awesome. And he's buddies with the dude that plays his voice in the series. They've
Yeah,
taken pictures together, and he said that in preparation for Kenobi and Ahsoka, he did what probably Natalie Portman and Ewan McGregor haven't done. He sat down and watched all of Clone Wars. So
hats off to him.
that's awesome. Hell yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought about Ahsoka episode 5. See you next week for episode 6, where hopefully we'll still keep it going.
Cannot fucking wait for episode 6. Some of you guys were lucky enough to be able to watch this episode in theater. You lucky fuckers.